Hi, I'm Dominic Piers and I'm Aerodynamics team leader for Mercedes GP Petronas Formula 1 team.
Hi Dominic.
Hi.
Why do you think Chopin is such a well-loved composer?
For me, it's probably one of those things that you can't actually explain, and that's probably why he's so well loved. It's the subtlety of his music, and the greatest interpreters of his music seem to manage to do things which seem inevitable from what he wrote, but it's so difficult to achieve. It's the feeling of spontaneity. Chopin himself was very particular about how to actually give that impression of a piece that sounds spontaneous. So I know he was much more meticulous about the writing than it actually sounds.
And what does Chopin mean to you personally?
Well, for me, Chopin's one of the masters of keyboard writing, and having played his fourth ballade, which is one of my favourite pieces in the Yamaha competition, and having won that competition, that's something really special anyway. And another interesting thing for me is that he always saw music as an art form and not as a profession, which is probably why he was never hugely rich. And so I think that gives encouragement to all us amateurs that are musicians that just play music because we love it, because I think there's something special about just playing music just for the love of it, really.
Which compositions do you love best and why?
Well, certainly the fourth ballad is one of my favourites. All the ballads are amazing pieces as a collection. The late sonatas as well are fantastic pieces, and his piano concertos. But thinking about they're obviously all quite big works. And for me, it's actually in some of the smaller mazurkas and waltzes that Chopin has his unique combination of artistry and intimacy, really, that no one else achieves.
What technique in Chopin's writings is the most difficult to master, in your opinion?
For me, it's mastery is a difficult word, really, because you practice to get performances as you want them to be, but Chopin's music demands that really it doesn't feel as though it's just been rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed to a death. It's got to still have that feeling of spontaneity and lightness. And some of there's so many notes in a lot of Chopin's work, but it all needs to be very carefully voiced. And to imagine how he must have been more than 150 years ago, having come up with his own techniques of fingering how to actually play his pieces. That's the amazing thing to me, really.
And who are your favourite Chopin interpreters?
I guess you always end up coming back to the old favourites, I suppose. I find it really interesting to listen to performances from Horowitz and Rubinstein. I've heard some great recordings from Radu Lupu. I guess it's horses for courses, really. It really depends on the works.
Is there any advice that you can offer the competitors when approaching Chopin's music for this competition?
I would say try and retain that feeling of spontaneity and the improvisatory feel, and just remember that Chopin was, while he was a musical genius, he wrote music and played music because he loved it, and he didn't like playing for big audiences, as far as I'm aware. So it's quite nice to have an internet competition where it's available to everyone. But yeah, just imagine that you're playing for 5 of your friends or something like that, which is what he did, I guess. I'd just like to wish very best of luck to all the competitors. Make sure you do your practice and make sure you enjoy it, most importantly.